All right. Okay. So, no camera day. Um, I'm going to. Oh wow, they let you do green screens on here. Interesting. Awesome. Okay. All right. I didn't know they did that. That's really cool. I like it. So I'm learning something on here today. Okay, so no fairy reads tonight because this is going to be quite a lengthy topic of discussion, but we are going to do a collective reading still, and we're still going to do our ritual. So I'm excited. I had a little bit of a headache for the last couple of days, so I didn't feel like really coming on camera and stuff like that. So I'm trying to chill for a little bit while I do this. So it's going to be a laxed live, y'all. Okay. So I'm going to just wait for some more folks to come on in so we can get started. Okay. Let me know if the sound is good. You guys can hear me. If you can see that lovely art on the screen. So we know that we got what we need going. Okay. But other than that, happy Venus Day, everybody. I hope everybody is well. I hope everybody's doing okay. The sound is good. Hey, Brianna, how are you, sis? Happy Friday to you. All right. Okay. This live is going to be, I feel like this is going to be a good one. I do want to do like a live discussion. Like if anybody wants to come on, do like a go live with someone. Like I'll send you the live link to you. If you want to come on, just let me know and I'll shoot you an email and you guys can come on in if you'd like to. Anybody that's interested, I'm open to that. I'm open to discussion, maybe towards the end if you guys are interested in that. Or you just want to come on and show some love, just be respectful. So, all right. All right. So we are live. Let's go ahead. Let's get it. So it's so funny because I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute and I slightly do talk about this topic, so it's not completely new to me. Um, just like what's been on my heart and on my mind to express rather. Um, so I do have some notes, you guys, so I will be taking notes down. Um, Feel free to tag and share this with your friends, especially anyone that, whether you guys agree with what I'm saying or not. I mean, you can share it with somebody, you know. All right, so first things first, y'all, greetings. Welcome everybody to Ghetto Fairy Friday tonight. Tonight's live is going to be something, okay? So this isn't just coming from a place, it's not okay, so when I share these things, I know I get real passionate and I don't know if it comes off a certain way. So this isn't, coming from a place of judgment, okay? It's also not coming from any place of jealousy, bitterness, or some attempt to tear other women down, okay? These are my opinions from a spiritual standpoint, from a practical standpoint, because I know like people like to throw hands, energetically in comment sections and chats when you don't agree with certain things, especially when you kind of hold a mirror up to things like, oh, you're just jealous. Oh man, like no, sis, no. Um, I be trying to shed light, but sometimes it doesn't register sometimes with everyone, but it's okay. But no, it's coming from a place more so like for me personally, like a little bit of a ache, kind of heartbreaking energy to me. I feel when I see like beautiful women that have a lot to offer and maybe a little bit broken, some that may be very impressionable, very, um, misled, misguided, even as grown women sometimes, like, just seeing sacred women performing for love or seeing women shrink themselves, pretending and feeling like they have to seduce and do all this stuff to survive when they're really meant to just be in a space of receptivity, like just allow themselves to receive, be adored, and be honored in truth and authenticity. You know what I mean? So tonight is about unmasking, like unmasking what we've learned to do to be chosen in love, right? Or chosen by a partner, chosen by a man, you know, and calling ourselves back into that kind of love that is rooted in authenticity, in love and truth, um, rather than strategy. Okay. So what we're going to talk about the spiritual and emotional toll that performance based dating has, you know, on a person's energy, on a person's heart, mind, being, soul, right? We're also going to talk about what the hypergamist, high value woman content leaves out sometimes, and maybe purposely leaves out. I don't know. And how to date like a goddess with clarity and with softness and with discernment and with soul, all of that good stuff. So, um, we're also going to end the live with a collective reading as well and a love mask ritual that I created. So if you've been feeling tired of the games or just like love doesn't see, it just kind of doesn't seem real to you, or you feel like it's not safe to trust the person, or all men are the same, or all women are the same, all, that type of rhetoric, then this message may be for you. Okay. This live may be for you or someone that you love. So again, tag your peoples. Okay. Tag them. Um, and yeah, and then we're just gonna go ahead. We're gonna get deep. Let's go in. Let's do this. Okay. So first things first, okay. Um, Hypergamy, from my understanding, is not necessarily a bad thing. Like there's some good and bad things that I definitely agree with and resonate with. And there's some things, from my understanding, at least with hypergamy to be there, um, you know, there are some good and bad with it, right? Just like with anything, like there's a good and bad with a lot of things. So I did want to, um, I did kind of want to make a comparison to what that whole thing looks like. So, um, I feel like there are a lot of teachings and stuff online that are very dangerous, in my opinion. Very dangerous. So I came across, just side note real quick, I post, came across the post on Instagram, and it's one of many posts, like the dark feminine post, how to get this person back. I'll teach you how to get them back in like a week or two, 30 days, some bullshit like that. And I was actually really surprised that there was pushback in the comments that were saying this is toxic, this is unhealthy, that sort of thing. I was kind of surprised by that because it looks really good. They show the really polished women with the nice designer heels and bags, and or people with real life, content. And I'm gonna say specifically, and this is not to call out Black women. As a Black woman, anytime we hold ourselves accountable, it's for some reason it's like, oh, you're trying to attack me, or as a Black male, you're trying to attack. But no, I see this a lot with Black women in particular. They'll have like non-Black partners, and they're usually older men, and it's a kind of like a flex thing, and it lacks depth, it lacks love. It's like you're just dating for superficial reasons, and you're teaching people that this is the way to go, this is how you got to do it, and it's sad, in my opinion. It's really sad. um I do believe in dating partners that, in a sense, yes, I feel like money is not everything, but There's nothing wrong with wanting a partner that has more money than you, or a partner that will be able to financially provide for you. There's nothing wrong with dating like that, because most women, they're taught that even by their own father, that you get a man that is able to financially provide for you. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. I don't feel like there's anything with having somebody like spoil you and buy you things and to like nice things. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's like, if under the vibrational energy or the drive behind it is the problem that I have with it, and teaching people to kind of play games with people, it's very dangerous. So we're gonna get into the spiritual dangers of hypergamy. Um, so for me, why I believe that this whole dating culture is very dangerous is, number one, of course, this disconnection from the authentic self. So like constantly playing this role, this so-called soft life, fake feminine energy, or just like this performative femininity being put in this box of only luxury and sleek clothing and minimal, like it's old money versus new money stuff. Like it's so performative. Everything is so superficial. You know what I'm saying? Femininity, especially goddess energy, if you want to go there, there's so many facets of femininity. There's so many facets of masculinity, but we've only been taught one, or taught that this is the only way to be feminine. This is the only way to be masculine, right? And that's not fair, because everyone has their own energy signature, how they express and how they show up in the world. So it's not necessarily going to just be shrink wrapped into this perfectionist version of femininity, right? Or masculinity. So I feel like the question really is like, who am I outside of this performance, outside of this? I don't even feel like a lot of women even care to think, why do I pursue love from this perception? Is it really empowerment? Is it just really coming from a place of brokenness, from bitterness, right? Because I feel like a lot of times it comes from it's driven by low vibrational energy, for real. Like in my opinion, I can resonate, like I said, with some of the things that are being said by some of these women. Like I do believe that you you have to withhold your emotions to some degree in the beginning when you're dating someone. You're not supposed to go into it thinking, oh, is this my husband, is this going to be my life partner? You're just trying to see if you really even like the person, first and foremost. If you're going into it with a transactional thing, what can you do for me? To me, that's like spiritual slavery in a sense. It creates a toxic power dynamic between two people. It's not based off of anything healthy. So, you know, number two, misalignment with like your divine partner. So, in order to attract a partner that's truly authentically for you, if that's really what you want, and some women have, kind of frozen themselves, frozen their hearts to believe that that doesn't exist. So get it while you can, get what you can. If you're beautiful, get what you can. Find the richest man in the room that's going to take care of you, set you off for life, do for you, all that stuff, or playing these manipulative games with a man to get them to want to be with you so that you feel empowered. Like that's misalignment. That's misalignment. And what happens is you're attracting partners based on surface level things. Again, just status, looks, provision, nothing that has anything to do with soul and purpose. So I want spiritual women especially to be careful with this hypergamy shit. To be very careful with it, because when you're growing into that place where you're decentering men, as they say, you're decentering men does not mean that you hate all men. Doesn't mean that there's no good men that exist, or that one person for you doesn't exist. It just means that you have to walk and move a little bit more discerning and honor your own energy first. You're not out here trying to eat men up. That type of, leave that to. So I'm not talking to everybody. Let me just rephrase this whole thing. And if I'm all over the place, please forgive me. Because I'm just flowing as I'm going. Let me rephrase this. I'm not talking to those demonic spirited women. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to women that are deeply spiritual, purposeful, divinely purposeful spiritual women, intuitive, empathic, loving women, empowered women that are seeking healthy relationship and authenticity in general, not just romantic ones, and most importantly with themselves. So I can't speak for the women that are dark and demonic and have those lower vibrational energies that feed off of shit like this. I'm not talking to those type of women. I don't feel like it's even going to register with them because they don't see anything wrong with that. And a lot of them are narcissistic. So um that's not even a thing. So, um, yeah. So another thing we're going to talk about too, the spiritual dangers of these type of energies. It blocks you spiritually, for one. You have to be careful because if you're receptible to these type of energy, some people might, like I said, some people have that dark demonic energy, can withstand energies like this. They're going to attract a equally demonic partner, so then they're just going to be in their own misery. But when you're someone that is seeking genuine connections and you're trying to follow these demonic dating patterns and shit like that, because it really is, that's really what it is. It's dark and evil and twisted. When you try to follow these, and a lot of it could be coming from people that are wounded or may not have the best intentions, they just want to make money. But when you move in that type of dark energy as a light person, a light being person, and you connect with a demonic partner, they are guaranteed going to take you off your path. They're going to suck the life out of you. Guaranteed. Most definitely guaranteed. Some people be talking about you got to vet your partner. Some of y'all don't vet your partners enough. You're vetting only to see how much money do they make, how attractive are they non-black. Sometimes that is the prerequisite for some of these women. Oh, get you a rich white man, get you this and that, or man out of the, um, just all of these checklists and vetting from a superficial standpoint. And if you have children, you have to vet not only just for you or what you like, your little checklist of, your superficial shit, but like what type of partner you're dating. Okay. There is a woman, I'm not familiar with her content, but I'm familiar with like her aftermath of her story. I guess she was into the hypergamy. She was following a particular YouTuber that's very popular in this sector. Um, she was connecting with her, or I'm not connecting with her. She was connecting, I guess, with her teachings and things like that. And she married this man. This woman, I believe, is in her 20s, and she married this older man who ended up um, essaying her two young daughters, and one of them, I believe, was a toddler. Okay, so you don't even like, you know what I mean? Like you just focus on the superficial shit. That you're not thinking about the dangers of who you're dating or who you're marrying, for that matter. So you're blocking yourself spiritually, and you're causing more harm and more trauma to yourself and to those around you, especially if you have children. You got to be careful with this type of stuff. These men can, get into these relationship with in these dating situations because some men with money can be the most demonic motherfuckers ever. You know, the most broken people, that they feel like all they have is their money. That's their worth, their value. So they buy affection, they buy women, they buy, their partners. Um, these are people that may not even have a healthy self-esteem within their own selves. They might have been the nerd in school. They might have been not the most attractive, and now that they have money, so they know what women want. They know how to buy a woman's affection or how to get their attention, or they know sometimes that these women don't really want them for them. They know what's up, so it's all transactional. And I do believe this too. Getting with a man that has like resentment towards women, and never really felt seen by a woman, they're going to take that out. It's like a power play. It's almost like they're going to dangle the money, dangle the financial perks and the material perks over your head as a means to kind of control you and manipulate you. And it's never really about, oh, I'm just free and I'm set. it sounds cute and it looks cute to see these women come on, especially like Black women that are not used to being treated well or feeling like they're the prize or that they're the standard of beauty, and they see a Black woman being treated that in a way that, oh, she's got a nice outfit, nice shoes, her hair is done, she's on a boat in a yacht with her partner, they're in Italy, they're shopping, they're having fancy dinners, all this stuff, they're flying on jets and things like that. It's a fairy tale and a fantasy, but you don't know what it took for that woman to get to that point or what she's enduring behind the scenes. You don't know that. You don't know. It looks cute online, and of course nobody's gonna really tell you what's like, the leak holes and the fucking cracks within their own home. They're not gonna show you or tell you that. They're not gonna tell you the dangers of that type of shit because again, it's it's a big thing. It's a very viral topic. It's a very I believe that a lot of broken women eat that shit up. They'll spend money, thousands of dollars on coachings and on teachings and like classes on how to get some dusty back that what I mean, or how to manifest a rich narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Like you might as well just label it as that. And I'm sure there's some stories where there is women that do have loving partners, but I feel like if you're moving in an energy that is not authentic and it's all strategic, then you're not going to attract anything that's real and authentic just by vibrational alignment, right? So, number 3, ancestral pattern repetition. So, what's happening is that your unhealed generational trauma around using love or marriage from a survival standpoint, because some of our ancestors, they had no choice but to kind of social climb in some instances if they had the ability to do that, or to be married based off of maybe cultural traditions, um, maybe just circumstances that happened at a time where they could not leave, or their survival depended on having to be married. That's a whole different thing. That's not your story. Hopefully, for some of you, that is not your story. I know some cultures still go by certain traditions of pairing people up and things like that. Um, but if you don't have that, that's not your story. You have the freedom to choose. You have to break that unhealed generational trauma because it could be playing out again. So, unfortunately, that woman, I think her name was Isis or something like that. Um, the perfect or the trophy wife, I think was her channel's name or her platform's name. And unfortunately her young girls are going to grow up with that trauma because their mother chose, maybe she thought she was choosing better for her daughters, but she didn't choose wisely with her partner. And so now that's just a whole nother layer of trauma that you place on your bloodline that now they're going to have to grow up and work through, and you're going to have to sit with that with yourself, unfortunately. So this is a continuation of cycles emotionally. You're still neglecting yourself. This is this conditional love, that also could be something that's happening between, not just within your own self, but like things again, going back to your ancestors where they loved with condition, or they had to love, or they felt like they had to love with condition or survive. They may have cared about the partner they were with, but they might have not been over the moon with this person, but it is what it is. Like I have to have some sort of financial stability. I have to have shelter. You know what I mean? Or I need a man in the house. It's dangerous times out here. If your parents or your grandparents or great great grandparents or people from your bloodline grew up in times where it was really dangerous for them, or the women didn't really have a lot of choices, they didn't really have a lot of freedom, you know what I'm saying? So some of this stuff can spill out in your blood, like for real, like it can play out generationally, especially if you're um being taught by the elders that um don't you ever love a man no more than he love you. And I don't feel like it should be who loves more than the other. To me, that just doesn't feel sit right to me. Like naturally, it would feel safe for a woman to say, "Oh, I want my man to love me more than me." But then it's like you don't really love him like that. That's kind of the vibe I get from it. So like, what are y'all doing together if the love is not as equally devotional? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of that? Um, I don't resonate with that either. Number 4, ego inflation and shadow suppression. So it encourages this superficiality, superiority, manipulation, and competition masked as confidence. So a lot of this, like I said, is coming from people that um either they're narcissists themselves, these teachers, or they're wounded and broken people. And so like it's an ego thing for them. It's an ego boost. It's not really coming from a healthy place, in my opinion. It's not. Um because I feel like it's really like this energy, it suppresses the real insecurities that a person has. It's inner child wounds that they don't want to deal with. And then it's also this um it suppresses the sacred feminine energy too, because it's cloaked as I'm empowered, I'm in control, I got this man paying my bills, I got him taking me out on trips. And I'm gonna get into what that really is too. Like I'm gonna do a comparison with this hypergamy versus another type of energy. But another thing as well, spiritual starvation. So when your worth is built on what you can attract and never fully, truly spiritually fed, the soul is going to grow in this loneliness, lonely in luxury without intimacy. There's no intimacy, there's no real purpose, there's no spiritual led energy in this love. There's no true connectivity in this love. There's no depth. It's like a wall. Like you're just, let's say you might sleep in the same bed, and some of them probably don't even sleep in the same bed with their partner. They probably sleep in a whole separate other room or something like that, because you can't. I never understood this, but get it how you live, I guess. I never understood how some people, and I guess if you have to survive, some people, this is just what they do if you have to, but like, I never understood the whole thing, like, because I can't do it. I can't pretend to like a man if I know I'm not attracted to him. I don't like nothing about him, and I gotta like call him baby and call him big daddy and stuff. That just makes me cringe. The thought of it just makes me cringe. But I guess money will have to just like put your big girl drawers on and be like, I gotta do this. I just have to. But when you think about the intimacy, I feel like there is none. It's like with these type of connections, it's like it's just this brick wall, you know? It's this brick wall. And this is not everybody is going to live out this Julia Roberts pretty woman story. And I feel like not a lot of people are ever going to experience that because it's just a fucking movie. It's romanticized. You know what I mean? You're not gonna run into a Richard Gere that's got it together and just sees something in you and wants to spend the whole week with you and just fall in love with you and then like whisk you away. I gotta get my hoe back. No, that is not real life. And I feel like that fairy tale of wanting to be rescued also too, like that movie, if you're a little girl feeling like, oh, I'm nothing, I'm not good enough, I have to sell myself, I have to survive, I have to do X, Y, and Z, and then some man that is quote unquote high value because he has money, let's keep it real, he's only high value in some people's eyes because the ninja has money. And he sees something in me, he's buying me things and he's showing me off in front of his colleagues. I must be special, you know? And I don't doubt that some women that really want love, when they fall into the stuff that they want to be in love with that person, they want to see them as like their savior, their Prince Charming, but that's coming from a wounded energy within yourself, coming from a broken little girl on the inside of self. So let's get into the physical dangers because we can't skip this. We cannot skip the physical dangers of this shit. So the physical dangers, number let's say number one, because I got it listed as number 6. But number one, the nervous system is shot. It's just shot, child. Um, the constant diligence to appear like you're this desirable person, emotionally cool or high value, but it's coming from a place of fight or flight energy. Your body is associating dating with anxiety or hyper performance or people pleasing. So you're not relaxed. You're always in your head. You're always trying to move the chessboard. You're not even present to engage and connect and discern and like see what's really going on, because you're too busy trying to move shit around. Okay, I gotta say it like this. I gotta, I can't sit a certain way. I gotta eat like this, and I have to, withhold certain things. It's stupid. It's dumb as fuck. It's not smart. You're torturing your own self doing that. And then on top of that, your body, or your sexual energy. We're gonna get into the sexual exploitation in another section of this, because I got like different things I have notated. But let's just briefly touch on the sexual energy part of it. Your seduction is it's becoming a currency instead of a sacred language in exchange. It's not sacred anymore. You're prostituting your energy, if that makes sense. So this is touchy because I know with sex workers, different intentions, So I'm not coming at all sex workers, but when it's coming from a place of a dark place, from a manipulative place, you have to understand that your sexual energy, your sensuality, that is a currency that you're wasting. So like your breast, your womb, your sensual energy, they're all connected. So when you're moving in this type of energy and you're engaging and connecting with people that you shouldn't, you're disconnecting from your soul. Okay? Because you're using this manipulative energy, or you're using leverage, and you're using your sacred energy to get it. You're compromising yourself. Physical safety is one of the, if not one of the most top ones. I might save this one for last. Let's do the emotional loneliness first. Emotional loneliness is another physical drain when it comes to you dating from a place of misalignment, and not just like with the hypergamy whole thing, but like when you're dating out of the lines of authenticity, and from this place of survival, or from this place of desperation of just wanting to have somebody, just wanting to be with somebody, wanting to have a man, or say that you're in a relationship, or to say that you're married. um your emotions, like you trying to hide and stuff away how you really feel, as like, I'm low maintenance, I don't want too much, or I'm really high maintenance. So it's like a spectrum of, I'm low maintenance, I don't really want too much, it almost becomes pick me-ish. And then the high maintenance is like the hypergamy thing again. um but what's happening is like it's taxing on you again, because your soul is not speaking its truth. You're not living in your truth. So over time, I don't care the smiles, the high heels and stuff. I learned that from people that I thought was like living it up, that were happy because they looked like they had everything, or they had all these followers. That shit don't mean anything to them at the end of the day. It's an ego boost at some points, but when they really settle with what's going on inside of them, they're not really happy. And it's also because of what they had to do to get it. So they'll sell you a dream. It's easy to take a picture and sell something, but like behind that picture, behind the eyes, like what's really going on? Your unspoken needs, your vulnerability starts to fester, which leads to resentment towards that person that you're exchanging with, and resentment towards your own self. It's also like a disembodiment as well. You're not, it's I'm telling you, it's taxing on the soul. There's nothing more sacred about um there's nothing more sacred than energy exchange sexually. That's like one of the most sacred acts ever. There was a woman that I came across, and she said this, like, I've never thought of it this way, like to break down the sacredness of sex. When a sec because a lot of people say, like, I've heard this from Christians as well, that said that would explain sexual exchange with the person is like you're actually marrying that person. You're marrying that person, and you're creating a soul tie with that person every time you lay down with them, because your flesh is becoming one in that moment. And so when she said what she said, it was so like, ah, for real. Like it made me go, wow, like why didn't I ever really sit to think about this? But she broke it down, and she said that the yoni represents the ring, and the phallus, or the penis represents the finger. So when it inserts itself, you are becoming one. You are married spiritually. So when she said that, I was like, damn. Like on some like cosmic, just spiritual, like as above, so below shit. Like when you're doing that spiritually, you're marrying that person. And I was like, huh, that's crazy. I mean, it makes sense. So every time that you do that, unfortunately, what you're doing is you're merging yourself with that person. And when a woman takes a man in on the inside of her sacred space, she takes on his energy. And I talked about this a long time ago when because people was mad. Like some people, like the women, they knew what I was talking about. The men, they didn't want to admit that. But it took one man that I knew personally to admit that shit is real and they know what they be doing. Like certain sexual positions, certain hitting certain points in the body and stuff like that. It's a science to it and it's a mental um it's like a shift mentally, spiritually, rewiring, restructuring the energy in the woman's mind, her heart, her DNA when she takes that man in. So like sex is not just sex. It's really not. You know, some connections you might have more of an effect, some maybe not so much of an effect, but nonetheless it is a lot more going on than just, squeaky, squeaky, squeak, bed hopping. This is just more than that. Um, Dependency and power imbalance. I already kind of talked about this a little bit, but like the financial reliance can limit your freedom, your voice, your ability to leave maybe a harmful situation if need be. This energy of being kept becomes like a little bit of a beautiful gilded golded cage that you're just, because you're not in a divine union, so there's no such thing of a true exchange. It's all transactional, you know so last and but not least, the physical dangers is obviously your physical safety and your risk. So when you prioritize status and money, you most likely are going to attract someone that's very controlling and emotionally abusive, an unsafe man, a demonic man. Some, like I said, take pleasure out of having the pretty woman that they never could get before the money, the one that they know only wants me for my money. So I'm going to punish you even more. It's a pleasure to do that, to be a tyrant over that woman, to control, to tear her down, essentially down to size, down to nothing. Some men are sadistic, especially men that have money. Not all of them, of course. I can't put everyone into a box. But the ones that have money, they're very, very misogynistic. They look at women, um, they're womanizers. They look at women as like the bottom. You owe me something. You're supposed to be submissive. All you are is just pretty. You don't have a voice. Shut up. Just do what I want you to do. Just sit there, look pretty, do this, have sex with me when I snap my finger. So you have to be careful with the type of energies that you attract. You really do. Because it's um very dangerous to assume that people with money are not dangerous. The more power you got, most likely how dangerous you actually are, because you're able to like pull some strings, cover shit up, you know what I mean? Dangle money in people's faces and say, I want you to act like nothing ever happened. And you're not safe in that type of environment. You're not. To find a kind man with money, I feel like it's it's very far few in between that. I feel like, personally, not saying that there aren't people that are kind. They still give the charities and shit, and still can be harmful and abusive, dangerous people. So, you got to have that wisdom to really pay attention. Um, on top of that, it's sad, but women are taught to ignore red flags if a man provides. And it doesn't help when you have other women around you kind of saying, oh, girl, well, at least you got this. Or, oh, girl, I wish I had a man like that would do that for me. Or, sometimes even your own mother is encouraging you, because sometimes the mother is the one that taught you the game, taught you that if you have a pretty face, men don't care about how intelligent you are. It's all about how pretty you are. Pretty privilege. You better use that shit wisely. You know, if he does this to you, yeah, all men cheat, so you might as well get used to it. Stuff like that. And again, like you're gonna get what you attract based off of your energy and your belief in things. Like, yeah, there are men that cheat all day, every day. Do every man cheat? No, that's not true. It's called having self-discipline. It's called having integrity. It's called giving a fuck about your wife or your partner or your children if you have children. So to say that all men are cheaters is like it's that is a unfair that is like an unfair belief. It's not true. It's not true. There are some men that don't know how to keep their shit in their pants. They don't know how to turn away from things, and partially because they're selfish. Again, there's not to say that men and women don't get tempted, that they're not going to see somebody that looks good to them or maybe like pushes an emotional button that they feel like or fulfilling their cup that they feel like they're not getting at home. But to be mature and to have some discipline and some discernment to say this is a trap, or this is, I need to work on something within myself, or I need to work on something with my partner. There's a difference between that, because people lead themselves in the trap because they want the shit. They want it more than they care about what's the outcome going to be, more than they care about their partner. So to say that everybody is a cheater is no. It's just those that are always cheating as motherfuckers that just don't give a fuck. That's the difference. So, you know, whatever helps people sleep at night to say I'm just going to put up with bullshit, I guess. But no, that's not the truth. That is not the truth. Okay? But you got to remind yourself of you deserve a love that honors you, that honors the true softness, because y'all be talking about the soft life. Y'all not living a soft life if you have to be strategic to get what you want and to keep it up. And oh, I know that Richard only likes when I wear, white nails, and I can't wear pink because he doesn't like pink nails. I have to do that. So I have to do that. I don't know where the code switching voices come in at, but like you have to maintain a certain thing to keep a man happy. And that's another thing too. Like if y'all talking about how bad bitches y'all are and all that, and y'all outsmarting these men, why are you bending to do what they want you to do so much? So that you don't rattle the cage so much. Why? Yes, you deserve a love that honors you. Exactly. Yes. Without demanding a mask from you, child. Without demanding a mask, you deserve to be cared for. Without sacrificing your voice, your truth, your soul essence. Like your energy is sacred. It's not something for sale, child. Hey, it's not for sale. It is not for sale. So I'm going to make a comparison with hypergamy versus prostitution. Y'all ready? Is y'all ready? So hypergamy versus prostitution, what it has in common, both on an energetic and system based energy. Number one, the transactional foundation of it. So like at the root, both are based on exchange over intimacy. So I can give you access to my body, my time, my energy in return for your provisions, your status, your material wealth. I'll exchange all of that. While hypergamy is often masked as dating up, right? We're dating up, we leveling up, but it still centers what can give you that materialistic, exchange, not um not based off of who a person is spiritually, emotionally, ethically. Like it's not based off of that so much, you know. And then two, emotional detachment as a survival tool. So both require you to disconnect from your emotional truth in order to keep the transaction, clean, right? So you can't afford to fall in love with someone who's not safe or aligned with you. You have to constantly pretend to be unbothered, strategic, available for pleasure without vulnerability. Um, and then three, that performance as a currency, right? Where you jucking and jiving, but in a way that looks pretty on the surface, right? So just like sex work, it often requires like emotional labor from you, a fantasy that you have to project, a role that you have to play. So this hypergamist like femininity, it becomes like this performance like of softness and beauty and silence and sweetness to earn this high value man's attention, you know. So both of you are relying on presenting a version of yourself that appeals to what a man wants versus what a woman wants, but more so it's appealing to the male energy, what he desires, and the dominance, and not your wholeness. It has nothing to do with your fullness and wholeness of you. You don't get any compensation for that because you have to perform, you have to put yourself in a box. And then it doesn't help that you have these heifers online telling you that this is how you have to dress if you want this. And I'm telling you, yes, it may work, but with what cost? You know, so y'all both relying on presenting a version of yourself that appeals to this illusion. You know what I mean? In both cases, the man often sets the ultimate terms. Like, so that's why I'm just kind of like, why y'all? It really just, if y'all can explain it to me a little bit better, maybe I'll understand. But I can't, for the life of me, see how these women think that they are the one running the show. Because I know they say, "Oh, pussy is power." I mean, yeah, yeah. Sex is a weapon. Yes, it is, and it can be very dangerous too if you don't know how to use your weapon wisely or use it when you need to. But if you're using it um just frivolously or dangerously, or you're in dangerous territories, you know what I mean? Like, they are the one, the man is the one that is in control based off of the access, the longevity, the emotional safety. This person ultimately sets the tone for all of that. So the woman's value is just kind of complacent and staying in this desirable space, very useful, very compliant space, but still thinking in their head, I'm in control because he's taking care of me, or he's got this, he's got that. But there's a limit to that shit. So the exit of that relationship, it costs you a lot emotionally, spiritually, and sometimes financially. Because let's take this for example. I just feel led to use this. I don't really know the ins and out of that situation at all. But Lil Wayne had, I don't know if it was his wife, his girlfriend, fiance, I don't know what she was, but he just kicked that heifer out and her child out of his house. Just, you know, and if you don't have anything saved up, you don't have your own shit, you ain't got your own money going, flowing, your own business or something like that, and you get tossed to the side, you're gonna be out here looking crazy. You know, if you're completely dependent on that person, you're gonna be out here looking crazy. Because it happens way too often. A man, if he's done with you, if you want to cut you off, he'll cut you off. Even more so if he knows that the only reason why you're with him is what he can provide for you, not about who he is and how much you really care about him and so on and so forth, or he just sees you as an object or a tool, a honey for, honey for the week or something like that, or for a time, a good time, not a long time, and you get too comfortable, he finds something else that's younger or more something of what he feels like you don't have, you're done. And then I guess that's why some people settle into like the older men too sometimes. Like, oh, he's old, nobody's gonna want him. And so if you're the narcissistic type, you'll play into that. You'll talk down to him, you'll shrunk him down to size, and y'all both just hate each other. Like, who wants to live a life like that? That is fucking miserable. Just to say you have a place to lay your head and you going on trips and stuff, like you're that soulless, for real. Don't even get me started on the women that just have babies for a check. Like, y'all bitches is the worst. And I'm gonna call y'all what y'all are. Y'all bitches is the worst because you just lay down and pump out. Like, a dog has more motherly skills than some of you heifers. Y'all simply lay down with an athlete or whatever, somebody with money, and birthed another soul into this existence based off of that. Like, that child, if I knew that my mom had me only solely because she wanted a check or because she wanted a brand and all this shit. It was never about being a mother or loving another human being or having the capacity to. Like, I would have to seek therapy for the rest of my life, probably. I would hate my mother to death if that was the case. Like, it would be very hard for me to forgive her. That is the most, if not the most, like, sickest. It's beyond a narcissistic level. I don't even know what you would call that type of shit. That's the craziest shit I've ever heard. It's sick. Like, those women to me are soulless, and the men that fall for the trap, they're just as stupid. They're just as dumb because all they care about is some plastic pussy. They don't really care. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, if you get into the dating pool of that world, you're going to think that that's all around you. No, that's just where the vibration is. So, like, if you come from that vibrational energy, that's the type of shit you're going to endure and attract. But that doesn't mean that that's all that's out there. It's ridiculous to say that. That's not true. So, all of it is like, it's conditional power. It's not a true exchange of co-creation, and you're not in your power in these type of dynamics. I promise you, you're not. It sounds better than the other girls that fall in love with the guy and have babies with them with no money, and they don't get anything out of it. They don't get any perks. You feel like you're better than them, but you're a little worse than that. You're more empty on the inside. You're more sadder actually than the woman that falls for the man that they loved. Like, you have no soul almost at that point. You know what I mean? Like, at least I got money, at least I got a bag. Like, okay, sis, like, money is not everything. And that, it scares me that people put so much, like, yeah, we need money to survive, child. If we like nice things and we like doing things and having fun and stuff, yeah, you gotta have money most of the time to do a lot of things that you enjoy. And sometimes you don't always have to have money. There's seasons where you're gonna have to learn to be blessed and grateful for what is. But if you put so much emphasis on these material things that are gonna pass over time, and maintaining and keeping it and doing dirty shit to keep it, you're taxing on your soul every time. I promise. Every time you're taxing on your soul. So the spiritual fragmentation, um, that's the biggest overlap of a soul level cost. So, like, in both of dynamics between prostitution and some of these hypergamist type of dynamics, is that they detach from the heart, they detach from the womb space, the power within your womb. Again, you really can't know the power of your womb so much if you're selling it only for the base. And I'm not talking about people that have no choice and this is what they felt was the best choice for them to survive. I'm not talking about those type of people. I'm talking about people that willingly go into things from um a very predatory mindset or very superficial level, this level up energy, um self perseverance. And I'm just going to just use everybody. Like, I don't feel, I never resonated with that. Like, why do you have to feel like, okay, all these men, they're dumb, they'll fall for anything pretty, pussy is power, I'm just going to use them for everything they got. Why though? That's not powerful energy to me. You're a predator. You're a fucking predator. And I know it might be like, well, he offered it. He wanted it. You're still a predator. Like, you're taking advantage of spiritual rape. You're taking advantage of somebody else's energy. Even if he is an easy lick, why do you want to be the one to do that to him? Karma is motherfucking real. Some of y'all wounds is dried up right now because of the energy that y'all exchanged and engaged in, willingly participated in. Some of you guys are not able to attract a healthy partnership right now or a good man right now because of the shit that you've done, and you have to heal that. It's not cute. I remember I was like 18, 19 years old, and I had that mentality of like purposely having an enjoyment out of having men fall all over me and doing things for me, um, you know, making them think that they were the only one and stuff like that. And even then, in my heart, I knew that I wanted my one, but I felt like I wasn't worthy of that. I couldn't have that. So I just had fun doing that type of shit. And like years down the line, I have to heal from that. That shit is very dangerous. Let me just tell you, that is very dangerous type of shit. And even on a higher level, if you're dealing with men that got something, that's very dangerous. So, performing worth instead of embodying it. So it's like a performance, like, oh, I'm that bitch. Oh, that's performative. It's not a fully embodiment of I just am that. You don't got to do stuff. You don't like do things to be manipulative. You don't have to perform. You don't have to control people and things. If you really that bitch, that's the difference between the performative energy versus embodying that energy. So trading access for validation and survival. Are you being praised for being wanted? But are you truly really being seen for you? Most oftentimes, no, because you're not going to allow that mask to slip. It's too risky for you, especially if you're in a domain of other people that are just as inauthentic, predatory, have all these wounds, have all these demons. You can't afford to let that vulnerability, that mask slip off. You can't, right? So you're not being loved or seen for who you are. You're being loved and praised or desired for performance. So the most dangerous part of it is that some of and it's like almost subconscious sometimes too, because our parents, like if we deal with abandonment wounds and things like that, and we feel like as a child, the less attention we get, the more we have to be good, the more we have to perform, or I gotta maybe cry or be loud to just get some attention. So when you become an adult, you're manifesting that energy in dynamics where it's like, well, this person is not giving me the attention, they're not giving me the ring, they're not doing X, Y, and Z. And then you're finding yourself feeling like you have to perform. That love must be earned, right? Instead of aligned with. You teach yourself that, or life has taught you that. And that's a dangerous thing to walk in, because it'll put you in spaces and doing things that ultimately are going to take away from your being and your spirit, because you're chipping away at yourself and saying, here's some more of this, take that, have this, have me, just take it, just love me, look at me, see what I'm doing, look at this, I'm a bad bitch, look at this, I'm a wonderful woman, I'm better than all the other ones, I can do this, I can do that, I'm pretty, love me, love me, love me. That's really all it is. Even if it's not that you really want love from that particular person, but you just want love in general. So survival isn't something to be shameful of. Strategy isn't a sin, but it's all about how you place the energy. So when we mistake control for love, or we stay trapped in these cycles that drain us, that's the bad part of survival and strategy. You know, you're here to, I want y'all to remember that softness is not a tactic, and nor is it a weakness either. So love is not something that is transactional, and your body is not a bargain. It's not. There's nothing wrong with wanting safety. There's nothing wrong with wanting luxury. There's nothing wrong with wanting a partnership. But if it's disconnecting you from your own soul in the process, like for real, ask yourself, is that really power? Is it really power? Or am I really empowered? Or when you feel like people are kind of like pressuring you um to be that, you know, telling you like, oh, you're lame, you know, if you don't do it like this, or if you're not dating like everybody else and doing all this other whack shit. Like, no, you have to ask yourself, like, are these people really in power for real? No, they're not. There's no way. There is no way. There is absolutely no way that that could be true. That's far from the truth. So how y'all doing so far? We can take a little break from that. It's a lot. I don't know why my device is not charging. It's acting crazy. But there we go. I'm about to say, like, you need to charge, okay? You got to charge. Um, but yeah, so like there's positives in dating up. I do believe you don't want to date people that are not on your level, not just on a status level, let's be clear, but like on a level like spiritually. Let's talk about that real quick. Spiritual women, you have intuitive gifts. Doesn't have to be like, oh, I can read tarot. Like, you have gifts of discernment. You have healing abilities. You're a very loving, very nurturing individual. You're creative. You're called to something greater in life. You're not supposed to be aligned with somebody. I don't care how much money they have, because high value men or women are not based off of their looks and based off of how much money they make or their status. It has nothing to do with that, or popularity and stuff like that. That doesn't make you high value. That your insides, your mindset, and all of that, that's what makes you high value. Are you somebody that contributes things, positive things into this world and into your environment, in your community? Or are you somebody that just is a toxic motherfucker? You're just an evil person, you know? So being with someone, for you, it has to look like a balanced energy. We're going to get in with dating like a goddess, what that really looks like. Because I feel there's a twisted perception on dating right now. It's hard to, like, let's be real, it don't look too good out here for dating. It doesn't, but I always equate that back to there's so many broken people in the world. So like, you know, and then not only that, they have things that promote toxicity. So it's like, why change? But it's like, you have to want to change yourself. You have to want to not be in those situations. And sometimes that might mean, obviously, if you're healing from traumatic relationships and situations and things like that, obviously that's going to require you to take time out for yourself. You're not going to heal yourself through another relationship completely. Another person is just going to be a distraction if you're not healed at a space where you're able to receive what you really deserve and what's healthy for you. If you're moving in an unhealed place, or extremely unhealed place in love, and you still are dating the same old low vibrational motherfucker, you're going to keep repeating those same situations. So it's almost like, if you know that you have an open wound, why would you keep jumping in a pool where there's chlorine in it, where it's going to potentially burn you? You keep jumping back into the dating pool and you keep getting stung, you keep getting burned and hurt. Instead of saying, I'll sit this one out. I could sit a hot girl summer out or two. Like, I don't gotta jump in the pool right now. Like, I need to heal. I actually need to get in the pool of cleansing and purification and wash myself and cleanse myself of all this other energy. Maybe literally cleansing your energy, cleansing that wound out of all them nasty energies out of your body. I don't know, a fucking yoni steam, some a smoothie that cleans that shit out, a spiritual bath, something, a prayer. I don't know, but it's okay to sit this one out, sis. You can have a hot girl summer without it being centered around another person that you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to not make it about dating or sex or something. It's okay to enjoy yourself. It's okay to enjoy your time with your girls or your people, your kids, your animals, whatever you got going on, or just you finding something that you enjoy, finding yourself outside of it being connected to somebody else. And on top of that, you don't want a person, you don't want a man or a woman that doesn't know who the fuck they are. Like, they don't stand on nothing. They don't have no principles. They don't have nothing inside of them to give you. They're just, oh, I'm good. I look good. I got this. I got that. I got some good deed, this and that. Like that. Okay. But you a demon though. You know? You gotta be careful as a spiritual woman too, because these old dusties, they'll try to take your energy, destiny swap with you and all kind more shit. Jealous of you, jealous of your energy, jealous of your gifts, jealous of your discernment and intuition. Like, you got to be careful out here. Not every man out here is for you, and that's okay. I'd rather have the one than appeal to many, because the many don't matter at the end of the day. That's not the one that you're going to end up with. Yeah, there might be some ones along the way that that capture your heart and all of that, and you might capture theirs, but it may not be meant to be. That's a whole nother topic. But to just be out here loosely just dating and just, you can't afford to do that, especially not as a spiritual person, as an empath. Your energy should be preserved as precious. It really should. It is not for everybody's consumption. It is not for the public. Invite only, motherfucker. Mm-mm. And you gotta be careful who you invite in. You know, this stuff is like, it's tough sometimes to like talk about these topics because it is triggering, because sometimes it does hold a mirror and a veil up to self. Like, I don't want to see that shit. And it could feel like someone, like you're being attacked almost, right? So it's like, it's not easy um to do this, but I hope that, you know, it helps somebody. You know what I mean? Because like, you have so many so much out here with the sprinkle shit and this and that. It's like, I can take some things from her and be like, you know what, yeah. But there's, you gotta have discernment to know, like, okay, some of this ain't for me. It's not for my consumption. You know, it's not. The voice of the person where it's coming from, it's like, you have to really think about that. And if you're easy game, if again, like, you are bitter, you're hurt, you believe that all men are out to get you, there's no good men out there, they're all liars, they're all cheaters, so you might as well get one with the most money and go sit your ass down and have a good life and just be selfish. That's, that is not a happy life. I don't see how anybody would be happy with that. If you're gonna do that, why not get your own bread and live your life off the grid and be happy somewhere else? Why does it have to be at somebody else's expense? You know, like, some people just are dating to escape from the work, not to really deepen the love. They don't want to face themselves. That's the reality of it. Because anyone that has ever done quote unquote shadow work or inner work knows that that shit is not an easy thing to digest and swallow, especially when you get told about yourself from somebody that can see you when you don't want to see yourself. Like, that is even more stinging. Trust and believe. Like, damn, I thought I was doing this. I thought I was doing that. I thought, no, you're hurting yourself, right? Like, you can have standards and still be spiritually starving. Like, you can have these standards to say, oh, I want to level up and I want this and I want that. And you could still be starving on the inside of yourself and not be full. You can have caviar or whatever, and all these expensive things and oysters, spiritually speaking, eat all these high priced, um, appetizing things, but it's not filling you up. It's not full. That I'm only going to eat a salad looking ass, and then the whole time you really hungry and you want more. And I'm speaking on, like, on a spiritual energetic level. You're only asking for, oh, I only want this because I don't want to ask for too much, or I'm going to ask for what looks appealing, what looks quote unquote healthy or good for me, but deep down inside I know that I'm more, I need more for myself, I'm destined for more. You know, um God, source, divine, whatever your divine team, your hierarchy of angels or ancestors, whatever you believe in, they are not going to send you a husband to the version of you that doesn't even like herself, let alone love herself. You might like the performative side of you, but the real you might not like her. So why would God send you someone to you, a divine partner to you at that? Not just any old husband, not just somebody that's like, yeah, I'll marry you out of whatever conditions, or because you look good, or because I'm getting old, I'm getting unattractive, or, you know, whatever the conditions. But somebody that's actually a husband. When I say, like, they don't have the title of a husband, they walk in the mantle of a husband. Why the fuck would they send that to you? And this isn't to be mean, but like, just put into perspective for real. Why? Not the earthly duties of a husband, but a spiritual version of a husband or duty, a mantle of a husband, a true provider and protector. And I'm talking about on a spiritual level, provider, protector. Why the fuck? What? No. If your only standard is he gotta have this, he gotta have that, he gotta be this, and he gotta do this for me, and and that's your only standard that you have for yourself. Why would God send you a husband? You're not asking for a husband for real, sis. You may want one, but you're not really asking for a husband. You're asking for a whole clown. Hey, sis. Yeah, like, no. God ain't gonna do that. Your divine team ain't gonna do that. Some of y'all bloodline is like, ugh, we don't like him. Ugh. Ugh, we don't want that for you, but you can't see that. You can't even see what type of energy you really walk in. Like if you looked at yourself from a spiritual perspective, you'd be like, why the fuck am I dating him? Why do I want him? Or why am I making myself available? These clowns, why am I on this dating site? You would look at it totally different if you really saw yourself from the person that you're really called to be. You would think twice about some of these people that you like, for real. You probably like if you saw them in the spirit realm, you probably be like, ew, who is this dude? Like, Sometimes you get in your right mind when you heal, right? When you get over it, you look back and be like the high school crush that you had, you'd be like, oh my God, what was I thinking? It's kind of like that. That will save you a lot of trouble. And to tell the truth, like some women, the masks, they see it. Like they're not even really attracted. Like I had to be honest with myself lately. I'm like, I'm not even really that attracted to men like that anymore. And not to say like there's not some men that are attractive and I like things about their energy, how they carry themselves. But like for the mass majority, like I don't care how fine you are. Something I just like y'all energy just sucks. Y'all are perverted. You're disgusting. Like y'all energies are just gross. I like to really be attracted and to feel something for a man like that. I can't find it in myself right now. I just be like trying to, be nice and be open and stuff, but they're really trash. Some of them, not all of them. They're disgusting. It's very rare to find, especially like in my age group. I don't know about y'all, where all y'all age groups is, but like in your 30s, probably even in y'all 20s, like I feel sorry for the 20-year-old. I feel so sorry for y'all. Mm, I feel sorry for y'all because some of them young ones, my daughter, I don't know how they gonna do it. It's really sad. And I question, like, do men like hate women? Some men, like a collective of men hate women. Like I really be questioning that shit. Like y'all really, some women too, y'all hate women. You really do. I'm just like, damn. But I can't find it in myself to be really like men like that because there's nothing really to like, you know what I mean? Like they're just low effort and energy. Um, they're extremely detached from themselves. Like just terrible habits. Dating to them is all about sex and stuff like that. It's very disgusting. And they're even repelled when you're not with that shit. Like your energy's not into the toxicity. Like they'll run from you if you don't play that game of toxic bitch, broken bitch, or you know what I mean? Like they don't like that. They want somebody that they can control. They like, women that are predictable, that they can run game on, that will be desperate to take them back. Like they don't want somebody that loves themselves. So that's why I'm just like, nowadays, I can't. They like situationships. They like the relationship with no title type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do that. I don't like it. I can't. I sleep good at night, child. Without that. I just don't know how anyone can do it. Even if you're paying me to do it, I can't do it. That's one thing about me. I can't fake love. If I don't like you or love you, I can't fake it. I just can't stand your fucking presence. Like if I don't like you, I don't want to be around you. Like I can't even pretend. So like people that can pretend to like people, pretend to be in love with people, pretend to be people's friends and shit, that shit is like I can't do it. So you can't pay me to be with you because I wouldn't be able to do it. Let alone let you get on top of me. Oh, bitch, please. Oh no. Hell no. Ugh. I don't know how people do it. I can't. I can't. I have no idea. Um, One more thing before we get to the reading, because we're gonna do a collective reading on this. Let's lighten this shit up a little bit, okay? So let's get into dating like a goddess. Cause oh god, that was a lot. Yeah, I can't do it. Your girl can't do it. It's not for me. So dating like a goddess is dating with intention. Okay? Dating with intention, right? So knowing why you're dating, not just who you're dating, but why are you dating? You don't just entertain people out of boredom, out of loneliness or pressure either, too. Because that's another thing, like, especially with age, that pressure from everyone else outside of you, right? So you have to identify your season for love, too. That's number two. You got to identify your season for love. Like, you're honoring whether you're in a season of being called into love, or at least called into preparing for it, or healing from maybe whatever distorted view you have of love and relationships, or yourself within love and relationships. And sometimes the healing is not just healing from past lovers, but it's healing maybe even from your childhood and your parental figures, and maybe certain friendships or things that have hurt you. You know what I mean? um so you're not in a place to force. It's more so like to be present. So if you're in a season of winter, you can't force a harvest in the season of winter, right? So you can't force the season if it's not time for you. You have to be able to like discern that within yourself. And some dating situations is not always going to be perfect. Sometimes you'll be guided to maybe go out on one or two dates, and then there might be something that's revealed to you in that time, and then it's like, okay, well, back to focusing on me. It may not be like a whole season of dating a whole bunch of people or dating to get married. There might be seasons where you're in it and you get pulled back out of it, you know. um and it could even be discerning, am I even ready for love? Am I even ready to date right now? Loki. Number 3, listening to your spirit and not your ego. Okay, you don't ask, do they want me? Does he want me? Does he like me? You don't ask that all this. Like, it's okay to wonder that. But the first thing that you should ever ask yourself is, does my soul feel safe with this motherfucker? Right? Do I feel safe with this individual? Do I even like this person? For real. And if so, what do I really like about them? Because sometimes we'll forge the liking. We may not really like that person like that. We like the feeling that they bring when they're around. We like the dopamine. So you have to be also mindful of this in the beginning stages of a dating situation, or when you're first talking to someone, not to get carried away into the, is this my person? Getting too hopeful or too wishful about it. Simply get to know the person. Like, okay, this is another human being. Like, yes, obviously there's some attraction here, but get to know the person as a person. Sometimes it's good to keep it at a friendship level without the sex, because some of y'all don't know how to do that. Y'all say, oh, that's just my homie, but y'all fucking your homie. No. um like, see if you like them, because sex complicates things. Why? Because of that energy exchange. It does. So instead of adding that into the equation before you even really see if you like this person, and this is a lesson learned, because I can look back and say there was a lot of people that I was thinking I liked, or thinking I was in love with, or had sex with them even though I didn't really like them like that, and then being like, bitch, what you doing? Why did you do that? Because you're not thinking with your heart. You're not thinking with your head correctly. You're not thinking with your discernment. You're thinking from your wounds or your lust. You're thinking from your desperation. So being soft, but also not being silent. So you're not trying to be low maintenance or too chill. You're being honest. You're being heart-centered. You're being expressive. You're not shrinking yourself to seem more desirable anymore. You don't do that as a goddess. You don't do that. It's this is me. This is how I'm showing up. If I snort, um, not snort. If I, what is it? You know, like the like, what is it called? I guess it is snort. Whatever it is, like if you laugh, I do that. Like if something's really funny, I will. I'll do that little thing with my nose, like it'll come out like a little piggy. I will. I remember one time I was with one of my friends. She was like the male centered version, and I was too at an extent at that time, but I was more like goofy, almost just like I didn't have too much performative energy in me, like especially around dudes that I don't like. I feel like it's easy when you don't really care for the dudes to be more of yourself than the ones that you like or the ones that you're trying to win over for whatever reason, right? So she um had some guy that she met on Facebook, and he was like, "Yeah, come over. I got homies over. You know, you can bring your friend or whatever." So we hanging out with them, smoking in the garage. This is when I was young. This was in like my early 20s, and I don't know. We were laughing about something, and I was like drinking my drink, and like it came out of my nose, and I was laughing. And she looked like she was embarrassed, like, "Oh my god, why is she being a dork?" Because like I am kind of like a nerd, yeah, a little dork, yeah. But they were all laughing with me and shit like that, and it was like, "She cool." I bet you that bitch wasn't expecting that, because I'll never forget when she told me when I used to wear crystals in my bra back in the day. And this was before like spirituality was that popping to some people. It wasn't that big for everybody. And one of my crystals fell out at a store that we were at, and she was like, "You got rocks in your bra. You're weird. No ninjas is gonna like you." Like she would always say little stuff like that. She was like one of them type, like you gotta be everything for a man, and you gotta dress like this, talk like this, act like the most ghetto bad bitch in the hood that you can. Like that was her. So yeah, like just be your motherfucking self. And whoever doesn't like it, they're just not for you. They're not meant to be in your circle. They're not meant to be a part of your tribe. Like it's okay. You know, if you can't be your authentic self around anybody, that's a problem. It's not always because they require you to shrink yourself, it's maybe because you've been taught that you had to, or the wrong people made you feel like you had to in the past. But that is not true. Moving forward, dating like a goddess is you being your authentic whole self and being real about what it is that you want. Because again, like we're not going to go into relationships being manipulative and being strategic and saying, "Oh, well, I'm not going to be honest about what my real intentions are." So if a person um doesn't want what you want, and then you get disappointed when you gave them your all, but you were never really real with them in the first place. You were never really honest about what you wanted, what your intentions were, what was your vision. You just went into it hopeful or hoping that maybe you could sway them into something, or you know what I mean? Like you can't do that, you know? Number 5, letting yourself receive without guilt. That's a big thing. Like, you're not too much to receive love and care and protection and pleasure. And so you don't need to beg for crumbs or accept crumbs. It's not too much to receive the simple things, such as love and care and truth, honesty, whatever, from someone. It's not. Unless it's not the right person. Then it's like, okay, well, the hell with you. If that's too much for you, you can't provide that, you can't be that, that's not what you are for me, then okay, bye. Number 6, honoring your boundaries is another big thing. Honoring your boundaries as a devotion instead of a defense. So when you have boundaries, it's not to be defensive and like avoid from getting hurt. No, it's a devotion and a respect for yourself. It's an honor to yourself. You don't block your heart with walls, but you're doing it to let anyone know that I am a temple. I'm not just going to open up to everybody, okay? You know what opens and you know what closes, including your motherfucking legs. Okay? Okay? I know women have needs, but not everybody is worthy of your body. I don't care how spiritual people try to wrap the shit up. Oh, you're supposed to have sexual exchange and like you. Okay, Hotep. Only with those who are worthy of that. And not every man on this planet is worthy of that. They are not. I don't care how good their dick is. I don't care how pretty they look, fine, whatever, sexy, how good, whatever. They are still not qualified if their heart ain't right. They're not walking in no like type of divine energy, divine masculine energy. Like it's okay to, it's okay to say no. Even say no to yourself, because sometimes yourself be just like, oh, he's so fine, or I'm so lonely, I just want some dick. It's not just some dick, okay? It's more than just that. Way more than that. You know, get yourself together, because some of y'all dickmatized is really just a warlock, but we can talk about that another time, because some of y'all not even dickmatized. Some of y'all is traumatized too. The sex that y'all think is good is really coming from something else. Y'all have like some trauma, especially if you've been SA'd, or you've been, as a child, violated in a certain way. Some of the things that you think you like is coming from those places. And I want to work with people that have been in those situations, because I have as well. And I feel like it's very profound to break that down and to really go into that. You're welcome, Jade. To go into this, because spiritual familiar spirits, generational traumas and stuff like that, they will attach themselves to you. So why are you thinking you having good sex with someone? Your demons are just being pleasured by that. And I know that sounds way too over somebody's head, but what I mean by that, with familiar spirits, it's like if you had someone violate you young and open that gate to something sacred in you before you were ready for it, and they took it and perversed energy. When you get older and you're walking with that same trauma and that wound that you have not healed, you have not took that energy back from that, whoever took that from you, you take that power back and you give it to you. Certain sexual things that you're into, if you really pay attention, come from trauma. Especially that beat it up shit, like some of that, like naturally to the body, naturally to the wound and what's sacred, that's not always like, you know what I mean? Like that very animalistic at times, especially when it's with someone that does not respect you or love you. It's actually, I don't even want to say it, but it is kind of like an R in a type of R exchange in energy, even if you think you're getting off to it. Again, some of these motherfuckers, these energies that they walk in are very, like I'm telling you, some of these men, and they may not even know it, are governed by a lot of demon spirits. They're perverse themselves. Sometimes maybe even had things happen to them as children, so you just never know who you sleeping with. And I was about to cry, so I don't know what that or who's entered the what. But that's why I said we cannot be too hard on each other out here in the dating streets, because there's a lot of broken people out here. A lot of them. A lot of wounded, traumatized people trying to connect and date, or don't know how to, and they're only doing it based off of what they know, or their wounds or their trauma, and sometimes their demons. So when you're having sex with someone, if they have unhealed trauma, they have demonic energies, they have perverted spirits on them and stuff like that, you're sleeping with that too. So you're not always addicted to the D. The D ain't that good, or that P ain't that good all the time. Sometimes it's something else that's driving that. When you detox from it, I guarantee you wouldn't want that shit. And once you do detox it, don't think that that demon's not going to come back and test you and tempt you again to realign and reemerge with them again. This shit is real. Like, y'all could think I'm crazy. I know y'all probably like, this bitch is doing too much. Hey, I don't know what else to tell you, child. I don't know what else to tell you. We gets busy over here, child. I really want to help some people that want to heal these traumas. I'm telling you, like my spiritual doula readings, I want to really do some extensive, intense work. I'm tired of like this surface level reading shit. I'm really tired of it. It's fun and everything. It's cool, but like that's not. I feel like I'm really selling myself short and doing a disservice to God and to my divine team and some people that really need it. But that's neither here nor there. But the next one is very, 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 like speaking of soul ties, let's get into it. knowing the difference between a soul tie and a soul match. So you've done the work to break the cycles, hopefully, to where you can spot the karmic confusion from sacred compatibility. So where you're like, oh, me and this guy, like we really get along, we vibe, and like you're able to discern whether that's more of a trauma bond, some sort of karmic energy, some sort of energy of confusion versus a true compatibility. So again, if you're moving in an energy that's inauthentic, the person is very confusing, the energy isn't right, you're not sure where you stand with this person's actions don't align with their words, they're very unreliable, that is a clear sign that that's not true connection. Not at all. Anybody that's bringing you confusion, constantly letting you down in and out of your life, doing things to hurt you time and time again, um, just lazy with their effort with you, most likely that's not your person. You know, spirit sometimes will bring like we'll connect with a person that might be for us because there are some times where like you'll meet your person but you guys are not ready to come together, you're maybe ready to meet for whatever reason but you're not meant to be together, and so spirit will separate people, but some of y'all don't know how to just withstand in that separation, or you'll confuse somebody that spirit's taking out of your life as somebody that you need to wait for. No, no, you do not want to create a soul tie with somebody that was only meant to be seasonal or never meant to be in your life in the first place like that. Number 8, not chasing the one, but choosing as one. So you don't wait to be chosen, okay? You are the chooser. You date from a place of wholeness, not desperation, right? You choose who's right for you. You decide that. You don't wait to be chose. That's not how it works as a goddess. And this isn't being like the other person doesn't have free will. No, because you both have free will. How do you know that somebody is choosing you and you're choosing them? Because you choose each other, right? It's a mutual energy. There's no back and forth. There's no, I want you, but they don't really want you as much, or they want you more than you want them, or this person's playing games, giving you mixed signals and you're trying to wait and see if they want you, if they're going to be with you. They're only telling you that you're not the one without telling you that you're not the one. And that's okay, because what does that mean? They're not your one either. Hello? What's wrong, Loki? Um, Staying in prayer, not projection. So you stay connected to divine source and your divine team. Your spiritual connectivity. You are that altar. You are sacred. You have to maintain, like a spiritual altar, you have to maintain your energy. You have to. You can't forget about you even when you get the person that's meant for you. You must remember to maintain your energy, love yourself, give to yourself, do things for yourself, continuously find your inner truth instead of losing it in somebody else. Because you can lose it even in the right person sometimes. The right person won't let you slip though. But at the end of the day, you're accountable for your own journey and your own life experience, not even your life partner is responsible for that. Just as you're not responsible for them and their life journey. Yes, you can be there to kind of lift them up, hold a mirror to them, but they are responsible for choosing to continuously walk that journey and do their work to maintain their own happiness and joy. It is not up to you, and it's not up to your person to do that for you either. So that goes into the last one, recognizing love as a mirror and not a mission. So you don't have to try to fix, change, or mold a person, but you let love reflect what's ready in you on the inside of you and what still needs to be healed. Your person is going to be that mirror for you constantly. Every human being that we'll encounter in this life is going to be somewhat of a mirror of something on the inside of us. Whatever it triggers or whatever is calling us to rise and take, you know, take hold of, step into, or whatever is calling us to release. It could be teaching us to protect our energy, to be more stronger, more wiser, to be more open, more loving. It be receptive The right person is going to be a part of the mission. They're not going to be the whole mission. So even if you believe in divine counterparts, you have your part in your mission and role in life, and so does your person. So it's not about, oh, once we're together, then I'll find myself. No, no. Your person could trigger you to find or to seek, help you to seek to find yourself. But they are not going to be the person to be like, here. Only you and God's source can do that on the inside of you. That's the only way. The only way. All right, let's get into our reading. Okay. So if you guys are enjoying this so far, like this video, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm gonna put timestamps at the end of this live so you guys can click, or just certain points where you know where you're at. So I've been documenting the timestamps so you guys will know like where we're at. So our reading, let's get into that, and then we'll get into our ritual. Told y'all this is gonna be a little long. Okay. So this reading that we're doing, this reading is going to be the price of power. Okay. So this is a collective reading for the spiritual divine femmes, or just divine individuals in general, right? Questioning their cost, the consequences, and the calling of a high value woman lifestyle. So for some of you that are ever, if you're living that whole high value thing and getting caught up in the whole system of that, or just like if you've ever been tempted by it, or feel shamed if you're not a part of that or participating in that whole thing, and kind of finding the balance between what it is that you're really looking for and seeking in relationships. Again, this is not to shame anybody that wants better for themselves in their lives, or wants, comfortability, luxury, but it's like at what cost and what energy are you moving to get it or aligned with? Because it's not to say that you're not meant to have it, but you're not meant to sell your soul for it. Does that make sense? Okay. So, all right. I do have my Faces of Oshun deck. I do have a couple of Aphrodite inspired decks. I'm going to use my own Oracle Venus as the plug. I forgot about that deck, but I still have it. My deck that I made a long time ago. It's a deck and with all the different Venus and different zodiacs, and then there's some other oracle cards that I created in that as well. Thank you, sis. Yeah, it's on time for whoever it's meant for. It is right on time. You're right. You're absolutely right. Okay, so I'm also going to use the Goddess of Love Tarot, which is one of my favorite cards for divine feminine energy and empowerment and healing and all that good shit. Okay, so let's get into it, y'all. Before I do, if anyone's interested in a spiritual doula reading, so with my spiritual doula readings, they are a reading to hold space for anyone that's on a particular journey in their life. It's just like to be kind of that support, while you're birthing yourself out, or you're in that weird transition where you're not really sure what that looks like. So it can be just for anyone in a particular transition in their life, where they're going through grief or birthing and rebirthing, or some sort of creative spark or awakening or deep healing that they need. I have 13 different doula readings I'm offering on my website as voice recordings, or 30-minute or an hour session read. So if you guys are interested in that, y'all can check out my website. I'll be sure to leave the link in the description so you guys can check that out. So the shop will have the voice recorded, and then the booking section on my website will have the phone sessions there. So if you're interested, I got you. I'll be more than happy to assist you. Okay. All right. So let's get into the reading. Oh my God, these cats. What are they doing? Oh my God, Ollie. All right. So I want to ask, like, what is it that really draws the feminine collective to the hypergamy or high value dating? Like, what is it really that draws, the ladies to that? Okay, what is it for real? I should more so say the spiritual women, the soul led women. I'm not talking to, like I said, them dark, evil. Hold on, these animals. What's going on? What are y'all doing? Loki, are you messing with Ollie? What are you doing, Loki? I'm watching you. Okay. I got my cat eye on you, Loki. He acting like I didn't do nothing. Like, yes, you did. I can tell. You look guilty as charged right now. Okay. Locked up, they won't let me out. That's what Loki. Wheel of Fortune. All right. Karmic energy, patterns. Loki. Let me know if y'all can hear me because I keep getting a call. Hello. Stop it. Yeah, this feels like karmic energy to me. With the Wheel of Fortune. These are patterns. These are okay, you can hear me? Okay, good. Yeah, because I got a call, so I don't know if it took the sound out. Yeah, but these are karmic patterns, and it could stem back to the Temperance card came out. Some of you guys, it's coming. It's like kind of like a 50-50. There's something about like maybe some of you guys having a little bit of a healthy perception of like what it is that you can take from that. Like I said, there's a balance. There's a balance. So hold on. There's a balance between like I want it for healthy reasons, and there's a balance that may be coming from like trauma. Okay. Okay. Five of Pentacles. Yeah. An energy of lack. That's also where it's coming from as well. Yeah, the energy of lack. Okay. What is the shadow of this lifestyle on the collective? What is the shadow energy? If we haven't already gone into that, what is the shadow effect of this energy on the collective? The Maiden of Swords, Crone of Wands, the Ace of Cups. The shadow it's like a false sense of empowerment, like I said earlier. The Crone of Wands is surrounded by flames. There's a snake wrapped around her head. So it is coming from a place of seeking divine empowerment for some. For others, it's just plain out like being driven by their lust. For others, I'm getting something about stolen prophecy. Like y'all got to be telling you, okay? Some of y'all, as spiritual women, I'm going to say this again. You can't do what all the other bitches do, okay? And when I say that respectfully, like just because some women can get away with this, because trust and believe it is taxing and they're going to pay for it. Whether they pay for it in losing certain things, getting hurt, unfortunately. They're living a very dangerous life, even though it's shopped up as pretty. Dangerous doesn't always have to look like the pretty girl with the thug. Sometimes that thug is dressed in a suit and he looks like he's a nerd. His energy and his essence is dark. They're wearing white clothes and shiny black high heels, and he wearing nice dress shoes, but behind that energy is darkness. I'm telling you, like, it looks pretty, the shoes and the bags, it's an illusion. You got to understand the illusion of this reality. Like, not everything that looks good is really good for you. So some of this is stolen prophecy, meaning, like, for those of you that are spiritual women, you should know better what to get into and what not to get into, right? But in case you ever just bypass that and say, oh, I do what I want, blah blah blah, I'm just gonna date, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna try to get in and fit in where they want me to, you're going to risk something being taken from you spiritually. I don't know what that means and what that is. You have promises, you have blessings, you have gifts, and you could forfeit that or delay that by stepping into something that is not ever meant for you or you were ever called into in the first place. So, like, while everybody else can do it, Daphne and them or whoever, I don't know, I'm just making up names, they might be able to get away with that and do that, but you're not, you can't. You can't. You're not supposed to. That doesn't mean, like, because some of y'all gonna be like, whoa, you trying to say I'm meant to be broke? Nobody said that, because I know y'all gonna twist stuff. I didn't say that you're meant to be broke and all this stuff, or meant to just not have nice things. But again, at what cost? If you have to sell yourself to get it, sell your soul to get it, then it's not from God. It's not worth it. Some of y'all just don't have patience for things, or you don't want to do the work. And that's the sad part about it. You don't want to do the work. They want the bag, but they don't want to, they feel like they can't get it by themselves. Yeah, that's part of it too. You want things, but you don't want to do the work to have them, whether that be physical work or applying yourself. Because some of y'all got $1 million visions that y'all not applying yourselves for. And you can only blame yourself for that. You could probably have your own bag. See, the thing is like, when you are divinely chosen or called to certain things, like, your shit's not going to come easy to you. It's not supposed to. In this fallen world, the people that get things by doing nothing and being mediocre or being um evil and stealing from other people, like, it seems like they're winning, but they have their time. Their time is going to come, if you know what I'm saying. Let me rephrase that. Their time, meaning that whatever their karmic justice is for what they've done. For those that are called and chosen, like, you're going to have to apply and do the inner work. This stuff is not just going to come to you. It's not just going to come to you. You've been given and blessed with gifts and talents and things like that you're meant to share with the world, not exploit, right? You don't have to sell your soul to get anything. That's the thing about some of these celebrities too. Like, their shit looks good, yes. But I guarantee you, those that had to sell themselves, sacrifice something about themselves, not be their authentic self, lie, cheat, whatever they had to do, destiny swap with people, whatever, they're miserable as fuck. I promise you that. Don't be fooled by the smiles, the red carpet, the clothes, the jewelry, the trips, y'all screaming their name. That doesn't mean much to them deep down on the soul level. Egotistically, yeah, for a moment, for a time, they'll remind themselves, oh, I'm so-and-so. I'm Katy Perry. I'm Lady Gaga. Oh, I'm so-and-so. But deep down inside, when they sit with their fucking selves, they are miserable, I promise you. But y'all love them so much, y'all worship these motherfuckers, y'all don't think that they have problems or anything like that. And that's the problem. But the compromising of your essence, of your truth and authenticity, like, yeah, they might have moments where they can kind of, do things, but not without control. Is that the life you want to live for yourself with somebody, with some man or some woman, or with people that don't really like you or fuck with you like that? Who wants to live like that? All to say, oh, I got material wealth and riches. When you got your own gifts that spirit blessed you with that will pay you forward. It may not come right when you want it. It may not come as fast or how in the quantity that you want it to come in. But God, source, the divine universe, when you're walking in your North Star, you're going to align what's meant for you. Always. You are going to be good. But it's when you start stepping into that demonic territory of living and doing things outside of what you're supposed to, that's where the consequences come in. That's why, and I'm gonna say this, like, not to be all conspiracy, but in all honesty, when a lot of things are being promoted by the media, it's usually because there's something about it that's a little tainted, don't you think? Like, if you think about things that we see on TV, there's a vision that they're trying to sell you and tell you. They're telling you a vision, right? And it's not always for, hardly ever is it for the perseverance of the human mind or for the human soul. It's always to diminish it, to um to twist it, to keep it fragmented, to keep it distorted, to keep us enslaved, right? So all this hypergamy stuff and all this sprinkle shit, it's mainstream, or it's not really mainstream, but it's like viral, it's promoted, it gets tons of views. You have to think about that shit. Is it really good for my soul? Is this type of shit I'm hearing, is it really helpful to me on a soul level? Or is it an ego thing? Is it based off of materialism? Is it coming from trauma-based energy and things? Because if you can sell a human something, sell the people, sell the public something that singly is going to help them and empower them, but it's masked as empowering, I should say, but it's really something that's tainted and toxic for you, you'll eat it up. Again, those that don't have eyes to see, or those that are enslaved to their own trauma, their own demons, their own insecurities, their lack of self-love and self-worth, they're going to eat that up every time. Why do you think people that live in the hood or in poverty, they always want to come out as the baller? Because they put material wealth over them. So they feel like that's what makes me valuable. I live in the ghetto. As long as I have a flashy car, chains, money, bitches and hoes, as they say, I'm rich. But you're poor in the spirit. You lack in the spirit. Women that feel like they're not pretty enough. They go out, they cut their bodies up, they do this, they do that. They feel better, they feel beautiful when they're getting tons of likes. Their booty is getting comments, their twerking videos getting a lot, they're oiling themselves up by the pool and shit like that. That feeds the ego. They feel rich in their ego, but their soul is empty or hurt, broken, poor. So if I can sell you, this is what gets you attention and affection and show you this. That's why I feel like a lot of celebrities um that are fame hungry, they're the most broken ones, because they seek out of the validation of you, the fan, how much you praise them, scream their name, how much you buy their shit, how you defend them even when they're fucking wrong. That's ego fed, not soul led. They didn't want to do the work. They wanted to, like back in the day, like people that really did their work in the game for years before they got what they, always dreamt of. And then there's some that just get it because the media knows I can sell this person. I can use this person to just make make the public more toxic. We'll sell this, this trap music, this, what's that stuff called, that, what is that genre music? It's like dark hip hop, like, God, it was on the tip of my tongue. But it's like gang vibe, the ends of the world. I almost had it. Drill music, there it is. We'll promote this drill music when real kids are really living that real life. We're going to promote it to kids that don't and teach them that it's cool. We're going to keep this demonic system and energy going. We're going to have all these heifers on stage, half-ass naked, looking like strippers on the stage, and have your little girls going to the concert looking at this shit, looking up to it. That's the type of shit that sells in this world. Not things that are going to help you unless their name is on it. Unless they have their name on it, or they can control it a little bit, or control the person that's the spokesperson for it, which is why you got to be careful even here on this fucking YouTube. Like, you think you're listening to something that's meant to help you, and this person's being sponsored by YouTube, but they're censored still. They can't give it to you raw. They can't give it to you fully and wholeheartedly. You have to have eyes to see in this world, for real. You really have to. Not everything that looks like a Disneyland amusement park is good for you, you know? So, yeah, that's what does love look like when you date from your soul and not survival? So for the collective, um oh, okay. Two of Cups, of course, of course, of course. Two Cups gonna fly out. The Queen of Cups in reverse. It looks like an exchange for once, for some of you. I can't say this is for everybody, but like for some of you, if you're an overgiver, most likely, if you ever been in the trap of feeling like you have to perform for love or you have to earn love, you overgive, right? Or people please. Like, if that's ever been your story. So when a love comes in that doesn't require you to overgive of yourself, that is part of it. That's part of what it is to date from the soul, is when you allow yourself to receive for once and you're not overextending. Now, this doesn't mean to be withholding energy or being manipulative and things like that, but it's just like it's a balance. It's like I give organically and naturally to things that are a mutual exchange for me, that feel right to my spirit. Not I'm giving it because I feel like I have to, I'm obligated to, or because I'm afraid of losing this person or they're not going to like me, or I'm going to withhold it because I want to seem in control of myself and I want to seem poised. I want to, it's not coming from that place. It's going to come from, like I said, a place where you're actually allowing yourself to receive because you're not used to that. You're not used to that. The Ten of Cups, but the Ten of Cups came out in reverse. So again, it's a balance between like, I know my vision and I know what I want for myself, but I'm not going to feel pressure to have to perform so I don't lose it, especially if what? These kids, I don't know what they're talking about. Okay. Okay. Okay, you have the Death card, which has Kali Ma on it. So there is a part of yourself that you are going to, I don't want to say get rid of like in a negative sense, but like a part of you that that it's not for you. So like I said, when I pull this card, it's interesting because the Kali doesn't look like the traditional Kali Ma where she has another person's head in her hand. She has her own. So it's like a death energy to a part of yourself that already needs to, but it's like you're ready to do the work. This is like, maybe this is like the final energy that you need to, not to say like at this point in your life you're never going to have to heal anything again or ever do any type of work, but this is something that's like a big breakthrough for you. And because it's her own head, excuse me, it could be something with the mind, it could be something with the identity or personality. Then you have Aphrodite of dreams. It says the dreamer, goddess energy, fluidity. So how you know that you're in a soul-led energy is because you're still in a place where you're allowing yourself to still have that vision and hold that vision of what you see for your love life without compromising yourself. You're flowing, you're in your goddess energy and your goddess power. You're still connected to like your higher vision and purpose. Okay. All right. So message from spirit to the collective goddess within yourself. Okay, so I'm gonna use the Aphrodite, I'm gonna use the faces of Oshun, and I'm also gonna use my goddess is the plug, or Venus is the plug oracle. Okay, so message from spirit to the collective goddess within y'all. Okay, so we're gonna close this thing out. Practice presence, grounded, embodied, and centered. Yeah. Okay. And then you have Venus rising. It says new frequencies, fantasies, Libra energy. So some of you guys could have Libra in your chart, maybe a Libra Venus, a Libra moon, a Libra Juno. Um, so yeah, you guys are being encouraged. Like your message to your goddess self within you from spirit is like ground yourself, ground your energy, embody the goddess, not perform goddess energy, embody it. You have your own energy signature, just like every goddess that we revere, that are worshipped. They don't all look the same. They don't have all the same powers and essences. They might have similarities. They might kind of stem from the same type of essence. Like, an Oshun versus an Aphrodite, but they have their own signature, their own look, their own essence, their own power, right? So you have to find what is that goddess essence within your own self and embody that and be them. Become that, or I should say birth that, because it's inside of you. And that comes from you being grounded and centered in your own energy, where you're not worried about looking to the left or to the right. What is she doing? What is this? How is she doing it? Or what are they telling me? What are men telling me that I have to look and be and dress like? Or this YouTuber is telling me that this is how you get a man and dress like this and dress like that. You have to find your own energy that works for you, because when you embody that, you're going to attract everything and anything that is meant for you just by being your authentic self. That's it. That's it. And in this card, the woman is reading a book. So this is like you finding peace within yourself, like things that you enjoy, your own hobbies, outside of externalizing yourself. So some of y'all, this is not the time maybe to be dating or worried about love or worried about the one, because the love ain't going nowhere. Like your love story, it's still happening. It's happening right now, even if it doesn't seem like it's happening or you feel like you got to be doing something to make it happen. No, it's still unfolding. You have honor yourself. It says, my child, sometimes we need to appreciate ourselves by gifting us with flowers and little gestures. Now is the time to honor yourself. Yeah. You got fulfillment at the bottom of the deck. It says, my dear child. Venus stands for luxury and monetary gifts. So again, like Venus is all about beauty and luxury. There's nothing wrong with that, child. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, it says this message is about abundance and prosperity will come into your life soon. Be wise with it and don't forget to share a little. So when you give, you receive, you get blessed. This is not about you flexing on your exes, flexing on your haters. And, it's not about I got something to prove. See, when you have divine gifts, spirit blesses you, but not just you. Spirit blesses those that you're meant to bless. Your energy, your gifts, your time, but with healthy exchange, right? But you have something to offer, you have something to give that's greater than you. So when you're in these toxic dating relationships and stuff like that, it's always about the ego. It's always about competition and who has more, and how can I make my haters jealous and mad and make my exes feel some type, like if it's all about that, or that's what it stems from, you already know that that's like some toxic shit. It's not healthy. You guys got way too much energy to give and share to waste it. You know what I mean? or I should say not so much to give, but the power and energy behind it is great. It's grand. Why is this flickering like that? Okay. I forgot it's a green screen, so it's acting real trippy. Okay. Oshun, 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 Oshun. What is the message for this collective? The goddess within them. Oshun manifesting birth, number 11, with manifestation, intention, and abundance. And she's pregnant, like pregnant. It almost looks like the moon or something. Like it's very vibrant yellow, like her stomach. And so you guys are giving birth to something beautiful. You have a lot of gifts. Like I said, you have a lot to give. You are never going to lack. So that whole energy of like selling yourself, that is not your story. And I feel like a lot of you already know that, like that's not for you, but it feels tempting when you're, again, you're bombarded with this type of stuff and you might feel like, oh, well, maybe I'm just like lame or something, or maybe I need to get with that. There's that temptation energy. It's almost like peer pressure, you know, the peer pressure from the media, the peer pressure from social media, or maybe even people around you. But that is not your story, okay? You're not meant to sell yourself or prostitute your energies or your gifts at all, okay? That is simply not for you. That is not your call, okay? That's not your path. You got gifts of your own, and like I said, some of y'all got $1 million ideas that are already birthed on the inside of you. You just have to water them. You have to have the fortitude to push that shit out of you. Like get it out into the world. And it is not going to be overnight. It's a process. Okay? I manifest with grace and ease is the affirmation of this Oshun card. Okay? So examine your thoughts and beliefs. Are they in alignment with your goals? If not, now is the time to make a change. Watch out for self-imposed limitations. Take consistent steps towards your vision and remain open to unexpected opportunities. The divine often responds in ways we least expect. So stay receptive and willing to shift easily. Pray, intend, and declare your wishes. Do the work, but also allow room for the magic to happen. Manifestation is a dance with the divine. Release your expectations and trust. You are in a powerful phase of creation and realization. Your thoughts, intentions, and actions are aligned in such a way that manifestation is not just possible, it is likely. That's the message of this card. So, her belly is actually a new moon. It says, on the night of a new moon, plant a seed in a small pot as a symbolic act of what you wish to manifest. As you cover the seed with soil, state your intention clearly and visualize it coming to fruition. Put the pot someplace where you'll see it every day as a reminder of your manifestation power. Water and care for it as you should with your dreams. So that's the message from the Oshun card. Now I'm going to pull from my Venus is the Plug Oracle, see what other guidance or messages to your inner goddess within the collective. And then we'll get into the ritual for the week. And it sucks because I can't show you like all the tools, but I'll just like explain it to them and you can write them out. You have Venus in Cancer. It says nurture only what gives you life with an immense amount of love and compassion. Nurture only what gives you life with an immense amount of love and compassion. Okay. All right. So that was the reading. So we're going to get into the ritual now. I don't know if I'm going to do a live discussion tonight because it's getting late. This was a little lengthier than I imagined. Um, way lengthier than I imagined. But we're going to have some more interesting topics for our Ghetto Fairy Fridays. So just be on the lookout. All right, so let's get into our ritual for the week. Okay, so this is our love mask ritual. So what we're going to do, if you have like a piece of paper, preferably like if you have like a printed paper, like a plain white sheet of paper, If you only have writing paper, that's fine, or a piece of colored paper, maybe even more significant for you if you have a piece of like, I don't know, construction paper or like a colored sheet of paper. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw kind of like a mask. It doesn't have to be too detailed or whatever. You're not going to wear it or anything, but you do need to have like something shaped as a mask, or you can like cut out your own stencil of a mask in a piece of paper. So what you're going to do with that piece of paper, you're going to cut out the shape of the mask, and then you're going to write down the roles that you played to earn love. Okay? And you might have to sit with yourself. I always encourage to sit with yourself in a quiet space. Um, sit with yourself in a meditative space, a space where maybe you have room to, not be interrupted, obviously, but maybe cry or I don't know, whatever. Um, so you can say things like, I act unbothered to seem valued. I seduce to feel seen. I shrink myself to feel safe. Or I chased breadcrumbs because I was afraid of real intimacy, or I was afraid to lose a person. Um, or I fixated on my looks more than my inner self, or whatever the case may be. It could even be not just with dating, but maybe as far back as like childhood, or maybe things that you still do to earn love, not just in romantic spaces. Sorry about my dog, she being loud. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna fold the paper away from you. Anytime you're releasing something, if you're writing something down or you have to fold it, you always want to do it away from you. So once you fold the paper, you're going to say an affirmation, whatever resonates with you, but this is not me. This is not my true authentic self. This is not who I am. This is who I was to survive or in my brokenness. I forgive that part of myself. I release that part of myself in love. Burn it. Burn it in a safe space, and then dispose of it somewhere safe, right? Whether that's in the trash or whatever. Um, if you feel called to after the fact, after you're done with this, you can take a spiritual bath just to cleanse your energy off, okay? Um, and then maybe do a road opener. Road opener in a sense of like you're opening the gates to new energy. Like you've made your decision to walk away from what was a part of you that no longer resonates. Now you're open to a new path. So you want to road opener. You can look up like different types of cleansing. Like you can use like some rue. You can use Florida water. You can use salt. For like new beginnings and new energies, you can use like oranges in your bath, like citrusy type things, cinnamon, not too much, or just different herbs that help with road opening. So I had a list because I just made a road opener oil maybe like a few months ago. It's up to you, do what feels called to you, what you're led to. But if you want to do a spiritual bath, like as just a closing out of that ritual, just as a declaration of I'm closing my energy out, and then maybe do like a road opener candle, like burn a road opener candle or something like that. That's up to you. Or like a yellow or orange candle to welcome in new energies, abundance, new blessings, things like that. If you're into the candles, candle work, candle magic. But this is to cleanse your energy of what was. And like I said earlier in the live, if you're guided to or led to, do like a yoni cleanse of some sort. Now that could be through like foods that you eat, some sort of, juicing that, with the right herbs and fruit or vegetables, yoni steam, something intentional. Um, Spiritually go in, meditate, and like cut the cords, cleanse, call your energy back. If you don't feel comfortable doing this with anyone or me, because I did suggest like if you guys have ever had been, messed with inappropriately as a child, I should say, to call your power back to that inner you, that little you, call that power back from that person, energetically call it back, those pieces back to yourself. Forgive that part of yourself if you have a hard time with that, accepting that. Take your power back. that might be a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more of a heavy, energy to tap into. But I would encourage that for real. But yeah, that was the reading, y'all. That was alive. That was the discussion. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. It was quite lengthy, but we got through it. We're good. I'll put the timestamps up soon. So um yeah, be on the lookout there for those timestamps in case you missed anything and you can come back and watch it. You're very welcome. My pleasure, y'all. Um One other thing I'm forgetting. Yeah, if you guys want to book a session with me and a reading with me of any kind, doesn't have to be any of my spiritual doula readings. It could be any read that you need guidance. If you have questions, if you're not sure what service to get, feel free to reach out. Okay, and I got you. Much love to you guys as always. Y'all be blessed, be safe, and until the next reading, live, or discussion, whatever comes up next, I'll see y'all soon. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night or whenever you're watching this. Be blessed, be safe. Yes, best of luck, everybody. We got this, okay? Best love is the best love, right, sis? Tori, I don't know if she's still on here, but I appreciate y'all.